When you are ready, start.
Start now.
Yes.
Okay. Hello everyone. Today we are going to present interdisciplinarity about a project in London, which is an architecture project, and this project involves different disciplines, which is I study architecture and urban design, and my colleagues study finance and economy, business and management, and law and international relation. And I'll be the starter for the architecture to introduce this project and my discipline. All projects topics overall report of Chinese company estimated in investment in UK, and this project is a Chinese company, which is another big project in London close to Vauxhall. And this is the project looks like. It's a big mixture architecture commercial project. And as I say, I study architecture, so my topic will be focused on this four topic: the evaluation of location, architecture style and space, evaluation of ground floor, typology of each unit of my discipline. First of all, the evaluation of location is the most important part of an architecture project. And why is location is important? Because the connection and transport of an investment project is the most important part. Who want to invest the project and maybe rent out or do something else, which means the view of this area or how does it looks like is very important. What is the areas mean? Because the location. I quote a sentence from the New York Times. When you buy a home in a good location, it's usually a solid long-term investment, which is the most important part. And this article also summarized 5 main ideas about the location is important: a safe neighborhood, the good school, the convenience to the public space, water associated views, and public transport and the freeway. And this project is close to Thames River. This is Battersea Park and Battersea Power Station, Vauxhall Station. This project is here. And as you see, Battersea Park, Power Station, Vauxhall Bridge, Chelsea. And this project is, this whole area is one Dutch Chinese group belong to another Chinese group, and the whole area is develop a new big area, which involves different things. Like this one is our project 198 up here, and another new USA embassy will be built next year, which is 2018. And another big project is the Battersea Power Station, which will be constructed to another luxury housing residential. As can be seen, the tube station is very close to this area. Then will be another new tube station in this area, which is this one and this one. This is mean the government is really response and take care of this big area. And a new tube station. And the second one is the architectural style and space. Even only for investment from other country, the style and space is also important. And and also the quality of space. For example, like if the Chinese company want to invest in UK, I don't think they will like create a Chinese styles architecture in UK, because I couldn't find any example for kind of a Chinese government, Chinese company design a Chinese building in USA for investment, because the visitor or the tenant is come from the local area. And this is the general outside looks like. As you can be see, it's a modern architecture, and the whole building is built. It looks like a white frame covered by glasses, and it's very standard. It will be the tallest, no, the second tallest architecture in London. The tallest one is the Shard. And evaluation, the third one is evaluation of ground floor. Why is ground floor is important? Because it's the first area which the visitor or the tenant approach, and it's the daily space the tenant will use. And this project involves or design is an inner street, so the people, the public people can go through, and the entrance will be designed in the inner city. So here, so this will be like looks like the people will go on this small street, and then the entrance will be set here. And the type of each unit, which means for the tenant, the floor plan, the orientation, and the size of space is crucial. For example, like the facing the south will mean, which means will be the tenant will receive more sunshine, and I'll come to see this. Anyway, this is the face north, and so this area will receive more sunshine. The north side, which means this area of this three-part apartment won't receive any sunshine in the whole year. Then my colleague will introduce the finance and economy on this project.
Thank you. Very good, Changwei.
Good morning, I'm Chongyue, and I'm studying finance and economics. So my topic, which contributes to this case study, is talking about the call of Wanda Group financing mode. Well, the call of Wanda Group financing mode is to cycle in cash flow in a highly efficient way, which means they borrow money from financial institutions and then make efficient use of this money to make profits for themselves. This financing mode leads them into a great success. Well, you can see the real estate project here. Usually, in general, it is mixed-use buildings, and they invest this real estate by receiving orders from the investors, and then these projects usually can be divided into two parts. One is only for rent, like shopping malls, and the others is for sales, like house, office space, public squares, and so on. And the money they received from from renting house can be divided into rental incomes and assets premiums. And after they receive this money, they put them into bank loan to return the interest of loans. And for the assessment premium part, they usually put their money into private equity investment and integrate sales and IPO. And well, if there's some, there will be a lot of money remains. Then they make them into efficient way, like they put them into to reload them to make a lease mortgage and asset-based mortgage loans. After that, they do a circulation. They put this money into a capital pool to reinvestment the other real estate project. And well, actually, it's a successful financing mode, but they still face some challenges. Like the biggest one is time management, as the project manager cannot fail to precisely evaluate the following time spots of investment. For instance, they cannot mention the various maturity date of returns and the date of incomes. Then the capital repertoire will exist, and then according to the dominoes, the first victim will be the bank. The bank will suffer in the threat of losing its credit properties. Okay, then will be the Lulu's part.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, so I'm Lulu. My part is business management, but very unlucky. Next year I will study international relations, so this very short part. Today I would like to talk business model change, and this picture is before. This Wanda Group in the China company, so it's very big group. And then this one in the China is very conditional and very old. Like this one, just only for living. Just the company just building finish and the sales and the sales finish, the sales just finish. So it's a very short business. So it's no shopping mall, no hotel, it's no gym, just only for living. And now it's changed. So it's very, very new, the model, and I think it's a long business, so it's very good. Like this have, this, just for example, have 2 tower and this building. Just have one tower is river tower and a city tower, and then in here have a hotel and this one is public square. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Oxford. This office service is rent. It's rent property. So every year. So it's very good business. And public square just how to say, just living, enjoying, I think. So I think the business model change have 2 points. The before we call this is the disposable marketing, and then the second part is now long-term benefits. And then like this, just in the river tower, just a very good apartment. So have a very new style service. I think this is very, very good idea for new department. And just like a 5-star lifestyle, and you like living in a hotel. You have reception. It's not before reception. It's new. It's like a hotel. So this change is very difficult. And in London, it's very. I think it's new because this group is Chinese group. It's very good. Okay. So I very like this one. It's personal service. If you can't drive, maybe have someone will help you parking. So it's very good for women and for maybe for young people. So I choose this idea because I think just the instead I think is saturated for property. So the company is estate company is to change. So change have need new idea, and the Wanda Group, this idea is very important for China estate company. So just finish.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Dorian, and to my part it's law, as you know, law and international relations. So I have divided my my part into two parts. It's in the first part it's will be about how this project would be supported by the law. And in the second part, I would like to explain how doing business internationality. So in this presentation, I would like to say how the legal is supporting this project. So the first, I think it's selecting the appropriate business form. How it's appropriate business form, it's the first one is maybe factors to consider. It's limitation on liability, tax consideration, legal formalities and expense. Second one is creating the business entity. How we create the business entity is would be done with caution, with attention on choosing the corporate name, creating the articles of incorporation by the law, and holding initial meeting. So and creating and maintain corporate records. So the next part is intellectual property assessed. So it would be include trademark, patents, trade secrets protected by intellectual property laws to protect the value of investment in their creation and the economic potential into the future. The second part is contract law. So as we know, if we would working to start with these projects, it would be many contracts, and the lawyers can help to do this part by the meeting. So it includes the complex systems to contract by the law, and I think it's important in this project. The second part, it's credit and payment issues. If we invest the money or some invest some credits from government, if we have some problems in the future with the payment and with them, the lawyers of course can support in and can help to solve this problem. And of course, the next part is participation in the judicial process. All the 4 parts, it doesn't matter, I think, which is realized with these projects. If we would have a problem with someone, of course, the lawyers can participate in the judicial process. Then, the second part is how we can do in business internationality. So this internationality operation can export in through an agent and foreign distributors. So this we can say it might be consular. So who would be the person who can help to working with the international company, who can attract the attention from the international company. Maybe it's Chinese or some another Asian countries. So and it would be a manufacturing abroad through license, franchising, investing in subsidiary or joint venture. So in this part we can see how the law can support this project, how we can start up a new business in the UK. It doesn't matter where would be this project. So in conclusion, I would like to say that in this part we can see how 4 parts, management, law, and finance and architecture can realize into this project, into this big project, and we would be able to have a good experience from each part if we are working there with if we are starting work with this a new project. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, I'd just like to ask a question. Then please, if anybody else has questions, do ask. You're talking about a development at 9 Elms. I would like, given that London has a real shortage of what are known as affordable housing, that is to say, it's becoming more and more impossible for Londoners to afford to live in their own city. How appropriate do you really think it is to build luxury apartments, yet more luxury apartments, which will not be able to be bought by any Londoners? And I'd like each of you to respond to this.
Actually, in this project, as my discipline, this area, small area of this project is affordable and housing residential. But I check the price, still very high, because I think that this project might be have kind of a contract with local council. They need to provide amount of affordable social housing for maybe local people or poor people. But for my personal aspect, I think the global housing rent is go up anyway. Somewhere, any places will go up. So, relatively, for the this kind of big company should take care more about this area, not for this area. But they may get a profit from this area to support this kind of an affordable housing to help the poor people. But yes,
They're not just poor people, they're ordinary people.
Ordinary people, or the social housing.
And I'm not talking about people who necessarily work in the kitchen. I'm talking about doctors, nurses, teachers. Such people cannot afford any of these properties. Anyway, thank you. That was your response. Thank you very much. And I see there's a little bit which you call affordable. Next
Very
person,
small.
Chongyue.
Well, London as a capital of UK and heart of Europe, there is a variety of people who come here. London is so attractive. So you can see from here, most of these buildings are beautiful shopping malls, hotels, and office space. So it's not only for sale for the local Londoners, but it's also just a rent for the business. So the question you asked is how property that Londoners will want to buy. It depends on the policies. I think if the UK would like to open their policies for the foreigners, and it could be an advantage for the foreigners to buy it, not for Londoners.
Thank you, Chongyue. Yes. Lulu.
Okay, I think this, because this one is Wanda Group, the first one in the London. So it's very noodle in here. I think they want to become a landmark. It's not just sell British people or something, because it's globally group and globally business. So it's like Beijing. Maybe Beijing, I live in Beijing a lot of years, but I can't buy any property because it's very expensive. It's same, London is capital and Beijing is capital. Just globally people just buy luxury apartment. I think this level just for, because it's the first one, so the level is very important for a group.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Darren.
So what can I say? Why the law? It's affordable or not? I think it's maybe a bit not realized with me, but I can say by the law it's might be affordable. I don't know. But I think it's a new one. It's a new project. It's a new model, innovation. I don't know. That's all.
Can I help you?
Yes, yes, please do.
I think it's a responsibility for the local council to set a law in the area, have affordable housing in a certain percentage. I think it should be done with this kind of a law, but unfortunately I don't think that will be currently happen.
Right. Yes. Yes.
This is a policy of government.
Speak a bit louder.
I think the highest price in London is a policy of the government of UK. For example, when it is a crisis in the world, financial crisis from 2007 2008 9, all people in the world came here to London to buy property, because in the London property never go down, and therefore it is a policy to the government. It is not the responsibility of other. I don't know. It is government should be cared by the people of the UK, like you said, teachers, and they have to give opportunity to these people to buy the cheap house, cheap I don't know, cheap properties, and they want to keep this price to earn money to the budget, I think.
Okay. No, fair point. Anybody else? Najla, do you have a comment?
I think this type of project in London is very important, because London is a business city, and this type of building is impossible to affordable for ordinary people. It's just for businessmen or people who are doing business in London. It's not for ordinary people.
All right. Thank you very much, all of you.